Taurus, I can honestly say, and I can say this because I'm a Taurus rising, that since 2018, life has been like a roller coaster, right? There's been all of this instability. There's been this sort of focus on self-identity. There's been changes in your body even. You likely even look very different than you did 6 years ago, right? Thankfully, 2025 is going to start to feel a little less roller coastery. Things are going to settle down a little bit. Now it's time for you to take this new and improved you out for a spin and out into this world that's also undergoing a transformation, right? So let's get into some of the more important things that you need to know going into 2025. Hello, my loves. As always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. So this is the 2025 Yearly Astro Forecast for the sign of Taurus. Now, you can watch this if you are a Taurus sun. However, this video is definitely for Taurus rising. So check out all of the other rising sign videos for the 2025 Yearly Astro Forecast to get the information that is definitely specific to you. All right, so Taurus. Like I said in the intro, things are going to feel a lot less hectic, okay? You've had Uranus in your first house since 2018. And like I said before, it's been all this erratic energy. But now that Uranus is getting ready to transition into your second house, which we'll talk about later, you're emerging as this new person, right? Like, you look different, most likely. You think differently. Your outlook on life is different. People probably even perceive you in a very different way. Because the way that Uranus works is that Uranus shakes things up. Uranus can cause some chaos, but Uranus ultimately gets us to rebel. So however you look, however you're acting currently is probably a sharp deviation from who you used to be. Right? And that is a great thing. That's sort of the journey of self-evolution. Okay. So when it comes to sort of your thoughts, when it comes to your body, this is the area of life that's going to calm down. Because again, Uranus is moving out of your sign this year. And I know that's probably a very welcome feeling because again, it's been feeling like a roller coaster. And I know this firsthand because I am a Taurus rising and I definitely look very different than I did in 2018. The way that I think is different, how, like my self-identity has changed completely. And I'll probably bet that you guys are feeling the same, okay? So I'm not gonna say that that's old news, but that's just one of the things that will transpire during 2025 for you. Now, the other important thing for you to know is that your ruling planet, Venus, will be going retrograde this year. Now, Venus does not go retrograde every year. As a matter of fact, Venus didn't go retrograde in 2024. However, in 2025, Venus will be going retrograde between Aries and Pisces. Okay, it's going to start its retrograde season in Aries and then move into Pisces. And for you, this is happening between your 12th and 11th houses. Now, I'm going to get into the 12th house in a second because there's a lot more to discuss with that. But suffice it to say, in 2025, there's going to be a review when it comes to your friendships and your associations. When Venus is retrograde, as a matter of fact, when any planet is retrograde, it allows us to review, to reassess, to remember. You know, all of the re's go with retrograde. And with this happening in your 11th house, this may be a year when you're like, all right, I've been hanging out with these people since birth. Are they still my people? Now that you've emerged as this new person, right? After Uranus has done and completed its transit in your first house, do you still resonate with those friends? Do they still resonate with you? Have they claimed that you've changed or that you're different? Or maybe you just have your sights set on things that your friends don't, right? I feel like Venus retrograde is really going to have you examining that a lot, all right? And Venus will be retrograde between March and April. So this is really when you're going to have the opportunity to reassess your friendships, and not even just your friendships. This could be your associations, groups that you identify with. Do those identities, or does that identity still hold true for you, despite the fact that you've been going through this season of personal evolution over the last 6 to 7 years? These are the questions that 2025 are going to ask of you. Just some of the questions, right? Now, the other thing that I want to discuss with respect to you in 2025 is introspection. As if you haven't done enough of this already. That Uranus in the first house transit, it didn't just like change your body, right? It changed how you think. But the 12th house is going to be important because we have a lot of planetary energy going into or related to the 12th house this year, namely Aries energy. So Saturn's going to be moving into Aries. Neptune is going to be moving into Aries. We're going to have a solar eclipse, the last of the solar eclipses in the sign of Aries. And the ruler of Aries is retrograde at the top of the year, all right? And so with your 12th house being the house of introspection, with it being the house of self-undoing, the house where you rest and recharge. Apart from that, the 12th house has a lot to do with the inner work, the subconscious. And with Aries being an action-oriented sign, these Aries transits, and these aren't going to be lasting just in 2025. This is 2025 and beyond. The one piece of advice that I will give you for this year and beyond is to remember that everything begins as an inside job. What do I mean by that? Your outer your outer reality is created from your inner world. And with all of this Aries energy in 2025, you have to be proactive about creating things from the inside out. Gone are the days where it's like you wait for a situation to change before you change. Understand that you are the magician of your life. You make things happen from the inside out. So if you want things to change, you have to change as a person. And you got a taste of this. Let me not say a taste. You got the whole meal with Uranus transit in your first house. So going forward, create the life that you want to experience. I know that sounds overly simplistic. It sounds very in line with manifestation, law of attraction, law of assumption, all that stuff, but it is true. And it's going to be extremely true for you, especially when Saturn and Neptune enter Aries in 2025. You have to be really proactive about this. You really need to be intentional about saying, listen, this is what I want to experience, so this is what I have to do. The beauty of Saturn and Neptune is that Saturn is real, and Saturn is practical, and Saturn will give you practical action steps and tasks to complete. So it's like, it's focusing on like what you have to do on a daily basis. Whereas Neptune is big picture. Neptune is the dream. With both of these planets set to be in Aries in 2025, this is like the practical steps that you need to make the dream a reality. And you're doing it from the inside out. So whenever you're experiencing anything that you don't want to experience, that you don't like, understand that you have the power within you to change that. And an important component of that is the people that you keep around you. And thankfully, your ruling planet Venus will help you reassess who you associate with so that what you're creating doesn't get ruined by your environment. All right. So these are very important things that you need to remember going forward into 2025. All right, my loves. So that concludes this video on the 2025 Yearly Astro Forecast for the sign of Taurus. If you want to know more, the link to the extended video will be in the description box below. And if you are a channel member, just head on over there for the extended reading. All right, my loves. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you nothing but the absolute best for 2025 and beyond. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care.